Cool. Um, cool. I will just introduce you guys. I'm gonna mute myself. Oh gosh, I'm gonna mute myself quickly so it doesn't echo like ridiculously, and then I will, yeah, let you guys present yourselves as well. So.
Okay. Uh, Hey, folks. Welcome to our session, Supercharging Mobile App Development with Generative AI. I'm Pranay Aaron. I'm currently a mobile tech lead at Airbnb.
I think she said she's going to introduce first.
Ooh,
Rebecca, are we good to go?
I, I think we should be.
She said 1 second.
Okay.
Oh, 1 minute.
Okay. Sriram, I'm sharing. You tell me when to start, okay?
Okay, I'll let you know.
AI. And that's can start when you're ready. Yeah. Go ahead, please, guys.
Go ahead, Pranay.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, folks. Welcome to our session, Supercharging Mobile App Development with Generative AI. I'm Pranay Aaron. I'm currently a mobile tech lead at Airbnb.
And this is Sriram. I'm a mobile tech lead at Airbnb as
Okay. So, what are we going to achieve today? First, we're going to learn how to leverage generative AI to build mobile apps. Second, we're going to create UI components using AI-assisted code generation. Then we'll take this UI components and assemble full app screen with Gen AI support. We will conclude with talking about advantages and disadvantages of developing with Gen AI. So, why Gen AI in app development? Sorry, there is too much noise. Can you mute? Amit?
well. Can you folks mute yourself?
Oh, yes, we can mute. I can mute.
Thank
Okay.
you. Okay, so why Gen AI? It accelerates development and prototyping phase. It helps you reduce the boilerplate code and avoid doing repetitive tasks. It also helps you translate design and ideas into code. It enhances your creativity and problem solving as a developer. It also helps you streamline debugging and optimization and allow you to focus on the core functionality and the user experience of the app. These are some common AI tools that you might be familiar with. ChatGPT, GitHub Copilot, Cloud AI that we'll be talking today, and Gemini. So, what will our Gen AI powered workflow look like? So, we'll have an input file, which is a Figma of a cooking app or food ordering app. We'll take this input and process it, this Figma file, to Cloud, which is our LLM, and ask it to generate a fully functional compose based Android code. We'll take that code and use it to create screens. Then we will take those screens and put some touch for developers. So let's see. Uh, Sriram.
Okay. Um, so before we get started, just wanted to say me and Pranay, we are both foodies. We like pizzas, we like burgers. We like to cook as well.
Yeah,
But you know what?
good.
But
Yeah.
we know what we like more than that. We like to order food through apps. So, what are we building today? We wanted to build something called as a food ordering app. There are two screens over here. These two screens are based out of open source Figma, which I linked it in the doc. I want to go briefly over these two screens. The first screen, I can see some kind of chips. with burger, I guess chicken roast, pizza, and some kind of Mexican food. I also see some nearby restaurants. I see a taco food, some description attached to it. If I tap one of these elements, looks like I can go to a detailed view, which is on the second screen, a bigger image. I can see some description about the food and items. Looks like I can even add items to the cart as well, remove items from cart as well. So what will our finish line be? Just to recap, we want to build fully functional UI components. We want to build two interactive screens, and we want to have previews so that we can visualize how these components actually look as we go into development. We want to have some kind of foundation for future development. Generating UI components. Introducing Cloud AI. So what is Cloud AI? Cloud is a LLM where you can basically it takes any text that you want, and it will put the output however it needs. So in a way, you can basically say, hey, can you do this? Can you write this piece of code for me? And it will write that piece of code in the language of your choice that can be integrated directly in your IDE, be it Android Studio, Xcode, or anything. It doesn't have language bias, and most of the popular languages are all supported, and it should have compilable code automatically. Prompt engineering. So before even going into prompt engineering, let's imagine a scenario. I got a job offer, I joined this new company, and it is my first day. I want to introduce myself to the team. I want to ask, hey Pranay, I have a question for you. I want to introduce myself to this new team. What should I do?
I think, Sriram, you should send an email.
I like that. I like to send an email. What do you think I should have in that email?
Based on your profile, I think you should talk about your experience, what you like to do, your family, and anything interesting.
Oh, I love it. Oh, what about my hobbies? I like to hike.
That's a great idea. I think you should definitely put your hobbies to meet like minded people in your company.
Excellent. So, as you can see, me and Pranay, we had like a normal conversation on what I want, and Pranay made great suggestions as well. Assuming that Pranay is some kind of AI system, that is what we are going to chat with an AI system as well. You are, in this exercise, we want to build a food ordering app using with taking help of AI system. But we need to basically put our thoughts in some kind of text where the AI system unders, and that's where the prompt engineering comes through. So over here in the slide, I'm describing, hey, I want to build a food ordering app using Jetpack Compose. Um, just to recap, for folks who are new to mobile development, Jetpack Compose is a declarative UI framework built by Android team in Google for mobile app development. It is similar to Swift UI for iOS folks, React for the web folks, an alternative to Flutter as well. So, having said that, I'm going to ask, hey Jetpack, hey AI system, I want you to use Jetpack Compose. I want you to have clean, efficient code. You to build reusable UI components as well, and some basic functionalities. I want you to have click listeners and some previews where I can visualize how it even looks. And how are we going to build that? We are basically going to attach an image, and then I'm going to describe the image on how it looks from my point of view, and you're going to build it for me. But wait a minute, before even we get our hands dirty, how can I come up with this huge prompt? This looks really complicated. There is an AI for AI prompt as well, which means let me just go to this link. So the huge prompt that you see in this in the slide, we'll see if we can generate it. I'll say, hi, I would like to build an Android app using screenshots in Jetpack Compose. So when I tap on generate, it should generate the prompt that the AI system understands and works out better. As you can see, it provided a big prompt. This is just an example. We are not going to use this particular prompt, but I wanted to just go tangential and explain this part. Getting back. So we still need to set the context. And the context is we need to put, we need to let the AI system know that we're building an Android app. I want to switch gears and I want to explain what I'm doing over here. I have a meta tool called a Bacchus AI. And what this tool does is it is integrated with all LLMs. You can use any LLMs and it has a chat integration where I can type and then it should ideally give the response in the manner that I want. So in this, I will set the context. So I'm basically saying that I want to build an Android app. These are my requirements. And as you can see, it says, okay, I understood the context. I guess I'm ready to go. All right. So for the first reusable UI component, what I'm going to do is I want to build this component. And the way I see it through my eyes is I see a burger. It has a gray background. It it rounded rectangle background, and I see the burger text right below the rounded rectangle background. So I have put all of that in this prompt. What I'm going to do now is the same prompt. I'm going to paste it over here. And in the interest of time, I already attached screenshots. So I'm going to attach this burger screenshot. Just to recap, all I'm saying is give me an reusable UI component in Jetpack Compose. I want you to name the reusable component as food item type. And I'm saying that make sure that the burger image has gray background. When I tap on it, let's see what will happen. Okay, so looks like it is spitting out code. This looks good. All right, let's see if this works. So I'm going to copy this, go to my Android Studio. My Android Studio is all empty. It's clean. It just has a couple of images, but that's about it. So the first item is food item type. So I'm going to copy paste it, see if it works. Okay, I see some import errors. It seems to be using some theme that I don't know what this is. I'm going to go back and ask, hey, can you use material theme instead of theme? Let's see if this works. It apologized and hopefully it fixed the issue. All right. Okay, I don't see any compilation errors. Let's see if this works. So I'm going to run a preview, which basically, all right. So this looks pretty good. It has a burger, it has a gray background, and the burger text is right below the rectangle. The only problem, it doesn't have rounded corners. Maybe I'll just ask it. This looks good. Can you make the rectangle a bit rounded? Okay. So now I'm going to copy paste this. Oops. All right. See, the component is rounded rectangle. This and this looks pretty similar, I would say. Okay, you can always adjust, increase the size, etc. But this is a good start. I want to move on to the next component, the nearby hotel card. This looks a bit complicated. I see an image, I see a heart icon, it has a white circle background, I see some text below it, I see some navigation icon, I see some reviews and all of that. So visually, I'm going to say this. Hey, can you maybe start off by calling my composable as nearby hotel card? We'll make sure that the heart icon is in the top start, right? And it has a white circle background. The location icon is black in color, and there's a preview component attached. So go back into this cloud. I will attach the right screenshot, which is this. Hit it. Okay, so it says it created nearby hotel card. Let's see if it did it right. Okay. I'm just going to copy paste this. Put it in my empty file. Looks like I don't have the image, but I have an image. I'll use an image that I have locally, which is trouble.restaurant1. We'll see if this works. If not, we can ask AI to fix it for us. Okay, this looks pretty much as what we want. There's some padding issues, but pretty much maybe we can ask one fix. Maybe we can say the background is white in color. Looks good. But can you make sure the background is white? Sweet. Okay. Going back, I'm just going to update this compose code and see if it fixes it. As you can see, the heart icon is painted, but we can always fix that. But at least it gave a good head start. It is a rounded corner card. You can see the text below the image and white background. I'm satisfied. I can move on to the next component, which is, let's call this as a food item. So this component itself has a different dimensions. The image is about, I will say, let's do 170 by 150. And I can see add icon all the way in the top bottom, which has a gray background. And then there's again a location icon and some description and a pizza. So let's see if it can easily build all of this. I'll do the same thing again, where I'll go ahead and attach the screenshot, which should be this. And then I'll say, can you create a composable food items? This add sign should have a light gray background. The heart icon should have white background. Okay. Then let's tap enter. I probably did not explain where the heart icon should locate, and maybe it can pick it up by image processing. Maybe it does not. And if it does not, we can always give feedback to fix it for us. Okay, looks like edit. Copy something. Right. It's called food item. Oops. All right. We'll just fix the right one, raw folder, rest. All right, right. Everything looks good, at least no compilation errors. We'll just see if this works. Okay, it actually looks reasonably good. I will go back to the slide. So I have an image, I have a circle with a heart. It's painted, but that's okay. We can always fix it. I see a location icon, see reviews. I see an ad icon. It's a bit big, but we can always polish it later on. So this looks good to me as well. It's a good starting point. Um, so the next is this looks reasonably fairly easy. It just contains the name of the item, and then I guess the restaurant, I guess the name and the distance, the reviews, and I see a heart icon with orange background, and then the heart seems to be all the way at the top end. For this one, we'll do slightly different. The preview that it builds will say, hey, name it something like food item preview too, just to ensure it understands what you're talking about. And just to make sure we have some sanity, we just want to clear some of the session details. So I'm going to say can you build this for me? All right. Oops. I used the wrong algorithm. Okay. Let's see. Okay, food item info. All right. Let's copy paste this. We'll just paste it over here. Okay, looks like it did create a preview with the choice of my own, whatever I wanted. It did seem to miss one import, which I guess is okay. Oops, it did miss a lot of imports. Material 3 guidelines. Okay, we'll try one more time. Okay. Oops. All right, how many compilation errors? We have 2 compilation errors. Looks like it doesn't seem to have navigate next icon. We can use location icon. That's fine. Let's see if this works. Okay, so this looks pretty good. Honestly, I didn't expect it to develop this app component as good as this. I know the reviews should be next to it, but that's okay. It looks pretty good. We'll try to build the food filter chip. This looks really easy. All it contains is it looks like a pill, and then the name of the item could be chicken, pizza, I don't know, fries, etc. So we are basically going to say just name the UI component as food filter chip. The chip needs to have light gray background and there is no border. So I'm going to attach the file as well. All right. And then request cloud to help build me a component. All right. This looks fairly simple component. Let's see if it works. Copy paste it. I don't see any compilation errors. Let's see if it works fine. This looks pretty good. Maybe the color can be adjusted, but it looks exactly like that. And for the final component that we are going to build today is item counter. So this is a bit complicated. From the developer point of view, when you want to build this component, you would at least want to say, when I tap on the plus sign, the number should increase. When I tap on the minus sign, the number should decrease. That is the basic functionality that you want. maybe you can ask that in your text, and maybe AI system can always help you out with the code. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, hey, please name the composable as item computer counter. Ensure the plus sign and the minus sign has a white circle background. And when I tap on the plus sign, the number should increase. When I tap on the minus sign, the number should decrease. And then if there is a preview component, maybe we'll see if this we can test it out. So all right, so I'm going to attach the screenshot, just screenshot and the text that I my description, and ask it to spit out the code. Okay, we'll see if this works. Going to my Android Studio, item counter. Okay, I don't see any compilation errors. Let's see if this even works. All right. Okay. So when I tap on plus now, oh, it increased, minus, it decreased. Shouldn't go below 0. That's good. Okay, so there you are. We were able to build all these UI components just by asking the AI systems, tweaking our prompts. And I guess I'll stop at that. Pranav, do you want to take over?
Sure. Thanks, Shira. Can you stop sharing? Okay. You guys can see my screen?
Nope.
No. Okay. Let me try again. What about now?
Nope.
Now?
Nope.
Huh. Mm,
Still no.
Why does it not show up? Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. I'm sure. Is there a issue with the screen share?
When you tap
You're on
shares,
mute. We cannot.
can I share my screen and see if that works?
Sure. Give me 1 second. Let me stop. Yeah, try.
Can you see my screen?
No.
You don't
Is
see
it?
my screen?
No. Is it only allowed to share one time? Okay, now I see it.
You see it? Okay. I'll stop stay sharing essentially.
Okay,
I just basically tap on the window and then tap on share the entire screen and tap on share.
I did that same thing. You
And then
cannot.
it takes 10 seconds to reflect that.
Okay, let's wait.
Maybe navigate to a different tab or something.
I'm doing the entire screen. I see it on the. Is that? I. Okay. What do I do? Let me refresh my screen.
Can you add him? I think he's in the queue or. Okay, you're back.
Okay, I'm going to try again. Uh, not working.
Yeah,
Okay,
we can see now.
yay, finally. Okay, so we saw creating the components. So what do we do with this component? Let's try and assemble the screens. Before we start, we need to set the context again. So you might ask, Pranay, we already did setting context when Shriram was presenting. So why do you want to set the context again? It's just because we are using two different machines. The LLM that I have and the LLM that Shriram had have two different instances. So LLM I'll be using doesn't know what we are trying to do. So we have to tell it that, okay, this is what we're going to do. There's one slight difference between the prompt that Shriram added versus I adding. So I instruct my LLM that, hey, I already created this set of components that I want your help to assemble the screen. So instead of the LLM suggesting me new components, I want it to use the existing set of components. So let's give it a try. So let's take this context, and again, it's the same thing. We are using cloud. So we're going to set it. Okay. So we told the AI that, hey, we're going to use this, we're going to do this. So what is it asking? It is telling us that, okay, give me the list of components that you have already created. Okay. So let's provide the full list of components. So currently we have the following components like we saw previously. So we have a food chip component that has the type. We have the nearby restaurant component that tells that what are the restaurants nearby. We have a food item, food add item, food filter chip, item counter, etc. So we have to tell cloud that, okay, these are the components that we have. Again, this is only required because my instance doesn't have the context. If it would have the context from the previous discussions that we had with it, we would have skipped this step. Okay, so we tell it that, okay, these are the components we have. Now it is saying that, okay, it is ready to help me create specific screen. It is asking me to provide some of this info, a description of the screen's purpose, layout arrangement, and things like that. So let's look at our screen in action, right? So this is our screen one. It's very simple screen for any food ordering app. It has an address, it has a search menu, it has the carousel of carts to filter the food type, it has nearby hotels or restaurants, and then it has grid of food that it thinks that it can recommend us. So how would the prompt look like for this screen? So we'll tell that, okay, this is, we are attaching our screen one, this is our home screen. So we give a little bit context that what this screen does. We tell it that how this screen is constructed. So we are telling it that, okay, we have an address picker, a search input, search for food. While LLM can still do image recognition, it's still better to be more verbose. We also tell it that, hey, like we created these components in Compose that we want to reuse again, right? We tell it the API contract because my LLM doesn't know the previous API contract. So we tell it that, okay, this is how those uh, component works in action. We also ask it to create data classes. So these are the data that will be passed to my screens. We tell it to add some extra data that we will be using later. And then we tell him that, okay, we want to create a fully composed screen, fully working prototype that you have, add previews so that we can visualize it, and then add some of the constraints that we have. So for example, don't restrict. Okay, so let's see what happens if we do that. So this is my prompt. I'm going to go back to the LLM again. Similarly, I will attach a file. So in this case, this is our home page. So let's attach that and let's put put and see AI in action. Okay, so it's going to analyze the documents. Okay, so if you look at it, it first asks us to create a data object, and then it is giving us full input of the screen. So while it is printing the screen, let's do this. Let's copy this code and name this data class.kt. So here we'll come in our screen, we'll just say a new file and say data. The file will have just purely the data representation of our screen. Let's close this, go back. Okay, so what is next? So we need to create a file called home screen and paste this code. So let's do that. So we're going to come here, going to create a new file, call it as home screen, make it as a file. We have the home screen, and that's it. We're going to just put. There are a few issues with the import. So let's fix the import. So if you look at the code generated, it not only created the entire screen for me, it also created this preview to test with sample data so that like I can run this and see it in action without waiting for a backend to be added. So, okay, so let's fix all the imports. So even, and look at this, it is using the exact same APIs that we have asked it to use. It is not able to find the import because it doesn't know where this import lives, and there is some issues with drawable. So let's fix this. We'll just use IC star for everything. Okay, let's run this and see what happens. So we're gonna come here and run this preview. It's gonna take some time and it's gonna run and see. We can visualize how our entire screen looks like. Okay. Ooh, look at that. Just with one prompt, we were able to assemble the entire screen. You can see it created uh, address, it has a search, it has all the prompts to filter things, it has nearby hotels. Uh, but what is this? It's not scrolling. It doesn't have a vertical scroll. So let's ask the AI to fix it. Okay, this looks good, but the content is not scrolling. Can you fix it? So if you see, you're not only like you're prompting and chatting with it. We are not setting the context again. We are not telling it what needs to be fixed. We are just saying fix it, and it already understands the context from the previous code that it has written. So, for example, it is not regenerating the preview. It is only asking us to change the the home screen, right? So let's do this. So we copy the home screen, change it. We fix the import. And what does it say? Other composable recommended food items. So let's look at recommended food items. It is asking us to change it. So we're gonna go and update the recommendation food item as well with what it is suggesting. Okay, let's run this preview again and see if it fixed it. Okay, looks like it is fixed. So now we are able to scroll up and down. We can see all the other grade items, which is scrolling as well. Pretty good. So this is how our preview looks like. So what about like let's have some more fun with it. What about multiple previews? Can we ask AI to generate that? Okay, let's do that. Okay. So what is multiple previews? So what we are saying, telling the AI that, hey, I want to test my screen in multiple languages which are non-English, and I want you to generate those samples for me so that I don't have to write all this boilerplate code by myself. So it is going to go and do that for us. So it is generating the home screen data in Spanish, in Arabic, and it's gonna just do that for us. So, okay, so let's do. We are copying the code. We come here. We come here and just paste it and see. Okay. Uh, okay. So we're just gonna remove the imports. That should fix it. Okay. And okay, everything looks good. Let's go and see the previews. You can see it has created multiple previews in very different languages. So English, different English languages. It is generating previews in Spanish. So you can see in Arabic and in various other languages. In Japanese. So yeah, AI for the win. What about night mode? Like, can it help us with night mode? So for folks who don't know, night mode is basically the dark mode versus light mode. So let's ask it, what about night mode? And look at this, we are not giving it a lot of context, we are just asking it very straightforward questions and expect the AI to understand what it means for night mode in this case, in this context, because AI already has the context. So if you look at it, it created a new theme with dark mode. It provided us the values of the dark mode that we can do, use, and generate the preview. So we're not going to see it because we don't have the theme set up, but just wanted to show, okay, what it can do. Okay, let's move on to screen two. Let's look at what the screen 2 has. It has a cover image, it has the food filter chips that we created, the food item info, description, grid of food cards, and add to cart and button for incrementing the number of items that you want to add. So let's look at the prompt. The prompt is more or less similar to the screen one prompt. We are telling it that, okay, this is our detailed screen. It shows when someone clicks on the restaurant or food item. We tell it that, okay, like this is how the screen is constructed with like full bleed cover, etc., etc. And then we describe about the screen. But one thing which is different in this prompt is that we tell it that, hey, we already created these data classes that on the screen one that we want to reuse. So to instruct the AI that, hey, don't create these new classes, we want to reuse them. And that's it, right? And then we tell it to create the full working prototype and the same stuff. So let's look at that. So go back to our prompt. This is our prompt. Okay, go here to cloud, attach the screenshot. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to remove this and just send it. Let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so it is creating the document. It still created one data class which is unique to this screen, which we didn't have it before. So let's go and go back and create it. Okay, so put it here. But if you look at it, it already is using the restaurant class and the menu item class and everything else that we created previously. Okay, next it is asking us to create a restaurant detail screen. So let's do that. So we're going to come here, create a new content file. Okay, and then just take all this code and paste it here. Let's see what is if it works or not. Okay, so it imports. Let's add imports. Okay, let's add imports. So it looks like fully functioning app, but it didn't create any previews for us. So what is going on? Okay, so this is the preview. So let's copy the preview code, add it here as well. Make sure that the import is correct and the preview import is correct. So very similar process for each screen, but slight different prompt. So let's run this and see if it even works. Okay, run it, see what happens. Okay, full-fledged app, second screen. So you can see it's a full banner. The image is bleeding inside the action bar on the top. We have all the components that we created, the description and other ordering. We have our counter. We have a button to add to cart and all the wiring, right? We have the button click listeners and everything, all working with just one single prompt. Okay. So what more can we do? Should we generate more previews? We already did that. That's not fun. What about test? Nobody likes to write test. So does AI like to write test? Let's ask. Can you? This looks good. Can you help me write? And we are not saying what type of test. Okay, we'll just say, can you help me write some tests? Okay, let's see what it comes up with. Certainly, okay, it can write tests. So first, it tells us what the dependencies that we need to add for the test to work. Then it creates a fully functional UI test that we can use to provide testing functionality to our app. So it is creating the screen with the sample data. It is then initializing it, asserting it on like different parameters, whether they are displaying or not, and like bells and whistles. So you can see how powerful this is, right? So, what did we learn today? So, let's recap the workshop, right? So, we saw different AI tools and how we can use them. So, even though we showed only cloud, most of the AI tools work more or less similar. We use the AI to generate UI components from the screenshot, and with just those UI components, we were able to assemble two full screens just by talking with AI. We also saw why effective prompting is must for generating code. So we have to constantly tell the AI that, okay, what exactly we want. Now, there are challenges of prompt engineering. Crafting an effective prompt requires skill and practice. So, even though there is an AI for an AI to generate a prompt, you still need to understand what the intention of the prompt is and keep on improving it repeatedly if you want to get the results that you want. Prompt engineering can also be time consuming, so you might say, hey, instead of wasting my time on like thinking about this prompt, I can code faster than what the AI can, right? And that is true in some cases, but as you get accustomed to prompting, you will get better at it. Lastly, there are biases present in the training data. So, for example, some AIs might not be trained beyond 2023 worth of data, so they might not be aware of newer APIs that new library provides, or they have some bias in their training data and can generate a content that might not make sense for you. So, what's next? You might ask, okay, is my job safe or am I going to get new jobs? So, remember, AI is just a tool, it's not a replacement. Imagine the scenario when Notepad++ was there and people used to code in Notepad++, and then IDEs came in, became popular. They didn't replace the coders. It just helped you to accelerate your uh, development journey. Oftentimes, AI will generate unwanted content, right? It will just hallucinate and generate APIs that don't exist and requires more work. Effective code review and solid design is very, very important even with AI. And we need to certainly balance the developer expertise with AI assistance. So use AI as your companion, but not as a replacement. Thank you. So we will take some questions if there are questions.
We can't hear you, but I guess we can see your thumbs up. So I appreciate that.
No, guys, it was an incredible workshop.
Thank you.
Yeah, very exciting. I don't know if you can hear them, but yes, all compliments. I don't think there are there any questions? No, I think you guys covered everything. But thank you so much. That was great.
Thank you
Um,
very much.
yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity.
What? Do you do private lessons?
Uh, for you folks, yeah, for sure.
For us, sure. Okay, great. You guys are on the Discord, so we can tag if anything, if there's anything throughout the ETH Cape Town as well. Right. Okay. Perfect. So, great. This was recorded as well, so I will download the recording. I'll share it with you guys, so you can have it as well. Thank you so much. This was really good. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
the
very much.
opportunity. Hope
Cool.
you folks have a great Saturday evening.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye
I'm
bye.
gonna